Hi, I'm Cade, and I want to chat with you for a second about Rick Owens' Spring Summer 2025 men's collection. He had the show in Hollywood in that blazing sun. This is like the most Dune collection he's ever done. But I also feel like people have been saying that for every collection he's ever done. Uh, Rick, every collection, Rick's clothes look like ghouls. Like every runway show, everybody on there looks like some sort of like ghoul monster or like a like a Sith Lord. But this time he pretty much had it all like cream colored beige brown, really sandstony. So that's kind of why I associate it with something like Dune. But it was also really interesting to see these buff men come out carrying a giant metal trellis that's like intertwined with acrobatic women on top, and they're just like warriors hustling this thing across concrete. It's cool to see Rick in recent years use different body types. Typically, the models and honestly the main audience, the wearers, are this like really tall, lanky body type that only, like so many people have. Uh, and it, also Rick's aesthetic, like everybody who wears Rick looks like they do ketamine. Uh, well, a friend of mine, he has that exact body type, and he wears Rick. He has that giant like soup bowl concave chest. Um, so it's nice to see him use something different. Because honestly, I had kind of looked at Rick like that, like, oh well, I'd look ridiculous in that. Um, but now that I've seen, other people rock it, I could see how it could work. But this time around, he kind of kept using that like wrinkly leather texture. And on some of the jackets here, some of them are like in really, really stiff garments next to like super flowy pants as they're walking through like really hot Hollywood weather. But that like wrinkly leathery texture, that's so Rick. Also, the curly knobby shoulders are back. Whatever those are, that weird motif that he uses all the time. I mean, like sometimes on Rick's clothes it's just big giant shoulders, and sometimes it's this weird like doorknob on top of the shoulders, adding to that like gargoyle look. The heels are also back, both on the men and women featured on the runway here. And I gotta say, even though they look like a hoof, I still think they're hella cool. I like they make everybody look so tall and have this weird physique that's like kind of unnatural, but it's so interesting. And then in the collection here, like all of the pants cover the heels too, which they normally do when they're featured. They just kind of poke out. Also, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people on the runway have some sort of like headwear garment. One of them was the classic like nun wrap uh, that he's used, long time ago. He's he really really loves that like gothic callback. I like that it's a little different this time around. And, you know, Rick, even if we never ask him to, is always changing something up while still sticking to his design codes that everybody loves. Like, I remember when, we all just started associating Rick with his typical black palette. He said screw it and just had like killer hot pink outfits out on the runway, and everybody's like, what? And he still made it this weird like dark lord thing going on, still ghoulish. There was also that one time he made like inflatable balloon pod boots that look absolutely crazy, but they still kind of fit in with it, the models on his runway look like brutalist architecture, if that makes sense. They look like a brutalist building, and I just think that that's so interesting, and he will forever keep it interesting. He's the GOAT. People like to shame America for not having cool designers, but Rick will forever hold space in the fashion scene.